Researchers say people with higher EQ or emotional intelligence have better relationships, they're happier, they just do better in general.
But how do we become more emotionally intelligent? How can we do that? And how does this apply in our lives? Joining us now is our relationship guru, Dr. Kirsten Lind Seal. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Yeah.
Can we just start with explaining what is emotional intelligence?
Sounds kind of squishy.
Right.
Yes, indeed. So emotional intelligence basically is about how we understand how we interact with people. Right? So understanding our own emotions, sort of what can trigger us, and then being able to regulate. There's sort of 5 things that are involved in emotional intelligence.
What are they?
So the first one is self-awareness, like understanding, for example, if we get really angry when people ignore us, right? What's that about? Often what I'll do when I'm working with families, with clients, I will say, you know, what is there a thread that goes back to when you were small, like growing up? There are often sort of ways we grew up that just have an effect on how we be in our lives today.
Sure.
So you could be at a Starbucks, for example, and someone ignores you and you could just get furious. Understanding what is that trigger can really lead to a lot of better processing when we are in relationships with others.
Self-regulation is the second category.
That's the second category. So the
it's
first
like the
step,
internal censor.
yes, and being able to then manage our emotions, right? Because if we don't know what it is that sets us off, then we're sort of powerless to do anything about it.
Number 3, empathy?
Empathy, yes.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. And that is really understanding what it might be like to be in someone else's shoes. So going back to being in a coffee shop and you feel like the barista's ignoring you, like maybe that person is really having a bad day, or maybe that person had suddenly a bunch of orders that came in. Sort of understanding, saying to yourself, it might not be about me. Do you know? And that can be a hard thing to do.
Motivation is another category of emotional intelligence.
This one's really interesting. So what you want to do is you want to really try to be internally motivated as much as possible. In other words, making choices about the things that you do or your goals based on your own values and not based on externalities.
It's hard.
It's hard. I mean, and of course we're going to have, like, I mean, we need to make money. We need to, you know, go to school. There are things we need to get good grades in order for us to progress. So there are external factors that are important in terms of what we're doing, but the more we can really come from a place of this is my value and this is what I care about, that internal motivation is very powerful.
The last one you say is socialization. What does that mean?
So socialization is really understanding, again, how we be. So all those 4 sort of move into this socialization piece. Understanding, say, how to, when you're working in a team, how to help motivate others, how to get along with people, how to maybe manage conflict, how to be direct with the people that you love, the people that you're in close relationship with, about when things are hard or when you get angry or sad. And being able to actually say, I'm really sad about this. Can we talk about this? So really understanding that back and forth about that sort of system of relationship.
These are things in the corporate world, they call them soft skills. These are the soft skills. They're very important when people are being hired.
Yes.
A lot of them sound like things that people either inherently get or don't.
Yes.
Can you, in fact, get better at this?
Yes, you really can. And what I would say is, what you need is the help of other people. So you can, go to a good friend or go to a family member that you really trust or go to a therapist. But if you're having trouble figuring out, say, what your triggers are, then it often helps us to have another human being there, a trusted human being, to talk about this stuff with.
You're asking them to be very honest with you about things that you may not want to know.
Right, yeah.
But the truth is, these things are critical in success, not only on the job, but in your marriages and your parenting skills and your friendship. It's everything.
Well,
this is the whole deal, really.
This is the whole deal. I mean, we know that human beings are so, the success and happiness and well-being of our relationships really translates into our own happiness and well-being. And so the thing about emotional intelligence is that those are the features and characteristics, is when we get better at them, those help and strengthen our relationships. And I will tell you that I've seen changes. I mean, I have people in my office all the way up to like their mid-80s who I've seen make changes in how they do things because of a deeper understanding. So that sometimes you do need a sort of a helper and a mediator with that. But basically, it's the desire to change is the biggest factor in actually changing.
There you go, your internal motivation.
Exactly.
All right, Kirsten, thanks so much. Really interesting.